A couple of months ago, we shared with you all that the state is about to start removing people from the Medicaid program. They will begin checking eligibility for the first time in 3 years. Today, Mike Bertaut, a healthcare economist and author of the Straight Talk blog, is here to talk about what that means for those who may be losing their benefits. Mike, you know, it's about to happen, everybody. So I'm glad we're having this conversation literally a couple of days before July 1st. First, let's talk about this. And of course, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome you back.
Good to be here.
Some people get confused, right? The difference between Medicaid and Medicare. Let's start with what the difference is.
The simplest way to think of it is this. When people are lower income or indigent, the Medicaid program is there as a safety net for them to take care of them, no matter what their age is. When we look at the Medicare program, we're talking predominantly about people who are 65 years of old or older, or people who are permanently disabled, been disabled for a couple of years, for example. Medicare is federally funded, almost 100%. Medicaid is a partnership between the state and the federal government.
I did not know that. Good to know the difference for sure. And now I'm so curious why they're cracking down now. It's been 3 years.
It's a great question. 3 years ago, the federal government, during the worst of COVID, you know, when we were shut down and we had hundreds of thousands of people on unemployment, the federal government was concerned about people losing their health insurance. So they offered the Medicaid programs extra money if they would stop checking the income or eligibility of the people who are already in the program. So as people over the last 3 years have enrolled, they haven't been subject to any checks since then to find out whether they're still eligible. Well, the public health emergency officially ended on May 11th. The extra money from the feds is ratcheting down. And so the Medicaid program is telling all of the different states, you need to fix your books. You need to go in and reevaluate everyone. And so that process started in Louisiana a couple of months ago. We expect them to start removing ineligible folks from the program on July the 1st.
Oh, so they're already checking now,
Yes.
but that official removal is going to begin July 1st. Great information to know for sure. And look, everybody, there are about 2 million Louisianans on Medicaid right now. So if people who are currently on Medicaid want to know, how do I make sure they're checking my eligibility? How do I know that I'm eligible? What do they need to do?
If I have any family or friends on Medicaid, and I do, I have recommended to every one of them that they pull out their Medicaid card, look at the phone number on the back and call, and make sure that their carrier has the latest data on them, contact information, latest address, latest phone number, latest email address. The Department of Health is trying so hard to reach out to people to let them know that eligibility is becoming a question. The last thing we want is for people to get disconnected without ever knowing they were in the game.
Right, so make sure your information is up to date, everybody. Now, how do people know if they're not going to be eligible anymore? Don't they get a slip or something?
Well, the problem is if the contact information is incorrect, they won't even be able to tell you that you're out of the program. You'll just go to the doctor or go to the pharmacy and they'll say this card doesn't work anymore.
Right.
And that's the last thing we want to happen.
Absolutely. So call the number, everybody, to make sure you are still eligible. And unfortunately, for people who are going to find out that they're not eligible anymore, there are some options available if you still need health care coverage. What are those options?
Well, I would recommend, because we had so many people unemployed when they were joining Medicaid, they're probably employed now. So step one would be reach out to your employer and see if you can join his health plan. Right? If that doesn't work for you, go to Healthcare.gov, or we have contacts that you can call. You can check gethealthplanoptions.com. You can also call 844-GET-BLUE, where there are agents who are licensed to walk you through the process of enrolling on Healthcare.gov. There's individual coverage there, tons of federal assistance. The prices are the best they've ever been for individual care coverage right now.
Okay.
So I would recommend that if you can't get on at work and you've lost your Medicaid, that is your absolute backstop right there.
Now, there's also a special enrollment period, right, that they have opened up for a select group of people if they do find themselves in this predicament, right?
Yes. If Medicaid tells you you're not eligible anymore, you have 60 days before you're disconnected and then 90 days after you're disconnected to go shopping on Healthcare.gov for new coverage. And every everybody should take advantage of that if they can.
And you know, like I mentioned, everybody, like Mike mentioned, this is all beginning on July 1st, but it's not just happening on July 1st, right? They're going to continue throughout the year to continue to disconnect people, we'll say.
Yes, there may be as many as 300,000 people who could potentially lose their Medicaid, and they're not going to do that all at once. So we are watching for 12 months to 14 months of disconnects, maybe 15 or 20,000 people a month, starting in July and going on for a year. So this is going to be an ongoing thing. You have to be vigilant.
Yes,
if you're in the Medicaid program, you want to make 100% sure your Medicaid carrier knows who you are and where you are.
And how to contact you, everybody. Call the number on the back of your card, whether you're on Medicaid or one of your family members, because if you lose it, you lose it, okay? Thank you, Mike, for being here. Great information. And look, everybody, like we mentioned, Medicaid is removing people who no longer qualify starting July 1st. For more information about the available healthcare options, log on to getplanoptions.com, or for more information about the healthcare coverage with Blue Cross Blue Shield, log on to Mike's Straight Talk blog. StraightTalkLA.com is the website. And of course, follow them on social media as well.